process analyst, but sometimes ITIL and process thinking just isn't enough. I was having a chat with Bill Bonnier, and he was explaining what he did and I was explaining what I did, and we worked out that there was a synergy, but we had a similar problem from either side of the fence. So as Dr. Jason Fox said this morning, I want my work to make a valuable difference to the organisation aligned to the strategic goals, but I am often frustrated by simply poor instructions about what people want done. My colleague is a strategic designer and an executive designer. That's what I was asking him, what the hell is that? And he helps organisations to develop their strategic plans. He is also frustrated, but that's because his beautiful plans are done and then nothing happens. Practice doesn't change. So his problem is strategy without doing. What people do doesn't get changed, it just stays the same. And mine is that I'm doing process engineering with no direction, for no particular purpose, who knows why. I'm not getting job satisfaction, nor is he. So think of the wasted money, the effort, the goodwill, all that time spent doing service improvements, engaging our stakeholders, training them, blah, blah, blah. Think of the wasted hours spent and days spent in those strategic planning workshops and coming out with a plan. So what we think that what's needed is some better thinking. So he talks about strategic thinking, I talk about process thinking. So we worked out there's a middle bit, and we've called it the mysterious middle layer between the strategic thinkers and the process thinkers. So, just one example of a spectacular failure, you'll hear about some fabulous government policy that comes out that's going to solve the entire problems of remote communities or something. They pour money at it and nothing changes. There's been a failure to implement there somewhere. So poor design, so if they don't do the strategic thinking really well, we're not going to get a good request for whatever it is that they want changed. And then poor implementation methodology could also be a problem, but it could be that middle bit. So his work is talking about why does the organisation exist, what do we do, how do we know if we're succeeding, what's our direction, what should we be investing in. That's a strategic plan. That forms the improvement program. Mine is, I need to know what's the current state, what's the dream, what's the vision. They need to share that top level view with me. What are the issues, what are the scopes? So therefore, what is the proposal for the improvement initiative? And it needs to be well put together. I quite often, in the past, not with my current employer of course, get work from, for instance, salespeople who've been out there and their major issue is go and do this piece of work, my commission depends on it. Or you might have a manager who's saying, I think this is what they want. So who should my work be coming from? It should be coming from strategic planners, strategic designers, service designers, business analysts working with those strategic people, operations with a specific problem, auditors with corrective actions and continual improvement programs. Design is not as easy as people think it is. It's not a neat thing. It starts off in this messy thing, and as we get further and further along, it gets clearer, till finally we've got a clear direction about what it is that they want done. That's where I come in. His work's the other bit. Then they pass me a project manager and they say, oh, we use Waterfall here, so let's get this into a project schedule and it's going to go from here to here. No, it's not like that. It goes mad. In reality, it's like this. It gets down and then we have to go back up again to the strategic plan. Have you heard of the Sinofan model? This seeks to understand all of this. We've got complex and chaos, we've got knowable and known. So if I turn that on the side, I can put a line in there and I can talk about above the line and below the line. So above the line, the chaotic and the complex, that requires strategic design. That's where it's really confusing and it's really squiggly. Underneath, it's a little simpler, and that can be handled by the Continual Service Improvement Program, and I've just put the ITIL books in here to just get it all in context for you because you know the books really well. So what I want inclusion in the development of the brief and possibly in the strategic planning process. I want permission to loop and iterate. I don't want to be told go from here to there and deliver it by this time in that order, because it doesn't work like that. I want permission to check back. So the mysterious middle layer. Strategic thinkers and designers know strategic plans. Business process analysts know building and implementing services. And both these disciplines need to cross the line and participate in each other's work. So we've been talking about the analysts joining the strategic designers and the strategic designer coming down and helping with the implementation and seeing that what's being delivered is what's being turned out. There's a bit of a template for that middle layer thing, for my proposal, my ideal proposal. So for more complex and unknown scenarios, apply the strategic design. Get an expert in to help. Don't try and do it yourselves if you don't know how to do it. Strategists and improvement teams need to work together through the uncertainty, and the objective is to make a difference to the work practices aligned to the strategic goals. Then I'll get job satisfaction. And so will he. Thank you.